Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and we've got a WORKPRO versus Snap-on when it comes to these hose clamp pliers. The Snap-ons are selling for about, well, actually over $82 off the truck for this little thing. The WORKPROs are $9.99 on Amazon with a 5% off coupon. So you can get these for about $9.50. The questions, I guess, do they work? Are they safe? Are they durable? Now, one of the things I've learned having played around with different hose clamp pliers is to be very careful, and I usually test them when they're tied to something because you could lose an eye or break a light or something like that. The Snap-on's got this kind of crazy system. Once you get used to it, it actually works great. But you could hand these to anybody and they wouldn't figure out how to use them for probably at least a minute. The heads on the Snap-on are way better as far as the number of positions and the grip, which has to do with safety and how many different kinds of hose clamps you can easily grab. If you look at the jaws on these things, pop these open, the Snap-on obviously kills it on the size of the jaw. But if you're going after some great big hose clamps, I've been able to get, the biggest one that I've got here in, but I don't know if I'd trust it because of the way it grabs, especially on these where they're uniform. If you had two circles, it might work. But once you drop this thing into here, let me open that up again. I can see why Snap-on did this. Why they've got the ability to remove the locking mechanism, because this thing does keep getting in the way and then you've got to open it up. It's not spring-loaded like the Snap-on is, so you have to kind of fiddle with it. But if I try to get this thing in there, and remember I'm doing this like in a laboratory situation here, not under a laying under a car or reaching down through an engine bay. Anyway, if I grab this like this and squeeze, I've got to be very careful or that thing could go flying the way it's held in there. And then once it's in, you can see it's starting to wiggle down. You see that? But it does work. Remember, we are talking about a sub $10 tool. Pressed or stamped steel here in these folded steel handles, rubber grips there. The gearing probably will wear out. In fact, if I was really serious about this tool, if this was the only one I had, I was on a deserted island, I would probably want to file these down if I could. I don't know how. I wish you could pop the rivet to get in there to give it a better contact, or maybe I might be able to file this a little bit sharper. It just feels like, there isn't quite the durable snap that, when you look at how that, see if I can get the light right, how that fits in there. It just looks like under pressure there's a chance that could wear or pop free. But anyway, let's take a look at it on some other hose clamps. These little ones here, usually if you throw the single piece, so this is where I release it and go even larger, the single piece there, and then if I can hook that, that's probably good enough. If I yank on it, right there. Little tiny guys, let's try that. Flip that, I don't know which way is going to be best on this one. There, I've got to open that. That's as small as it goes. That may not be enough if you're actually trying to get something that small. That'd be like a tiny, well, I don't know, fuel line on an old Toyota possibly. That looks a little small. Or on the fuel filter, there used to be these little plastic, they look like kind of a Krupp's coffee dispenser or coffee sample, but you could actually just reach in the engine bay, pop free your oil or your fuel filter, throw another one in. This one, probably not going to work. There's not enough spring to really loosen it enough. This is, for like radiators on older vehicles, or just, screwing around with other designs. Was that not hooking? Interesting. Why isn't that hooking in anymore? Did I break it? Oh, just the spacing here is large. So anyway, yeah, that's about how you'd use it. How does that compare to the Snap-on? Well, remember, this is 80-some dollars. I'd have to engage it. Actually, I'll back it off first. On this one, you can see even in the bowl end of it, I can get a nice, good, solid grip there. And then on this side, I've got lots of choices on how to grip this. Probably the most solid would be that one, and then this one. If I slide that in, and now you can see those are in there. Those are not coming out. It's probably the safest design right there. But you could buy, well, if this was, say it was $10 and this was $80, obviously you could get 8 of these. And how often do you use it? You know, if you don't use it much or occasionally, and you know, you're reasonably careful. I don't have any trouble recommending something like this for 10 bucks, because so often we're grabbing a different kind of plier, you know, maybe a Knipex Cobra or just a slip joint plier or anything else, and trying to wedge it in there. And so with the rotation here, it gives you plenty of different angles at which you can grab it. Grab the compression clamp there, so you can see, and then, you know, that's secure enough. I would worry mainly just about that mechanism right there. So if it popped free, what would happen? So anyway, there it is. I'll put a link below if you want to explore these. I did look at others, you know, and kind of went to the bottom, you know, of price just to see. But anyway, I've been looking more at WORKPRO for several reasons, but one of them is it's just so hard to believe, you know, how expensive some of these others are getting. I squeeze that tight and release it. Come on. There we go. Which just puts them out of reach to a lot of people, which means that they would rather use a different tool, a wrong tool or something, to try to do something, especially when safety kind of comes into play. However, as a lot of people pointed out, you know, why am I still using these things? We've kind of moved on. Well, I have a lot of older vehicles. Plus, I screw around and play around with different kinds of things. So anyway, there it is, the WORKPRO. This is the hose clamp plier. It's the entire name of the thing. 10 bucks. And with that, Doc out.